I got up this morning, well, awakening out of my sleep, not ready to get out of the bed yet because although the time had leaped forward, I hadn't leaped up yet. And there's a little white creature running around our house. Yeah. I call it a wannabe dog. It ain't a real dog, just a portion of a dog that should be. Yeah, help me, Lord. And for your sake, I'll call it a dog, okay? But in my world, it ain't a real dog. A real dog, like Buster, he be playing with it. Hey, I got me a toy, y'all. Look. Y'all with me? Be like, y'all remember my dog? I had them big dog, big Rockwallers. They would love to play with this little thing. What a little nice little toy you done brought us. Yeah, when I was growing up, in fact, we had two dogs, one named Ronnie, one named Rex, and I've seen them take a little bitty dog and pull it. And I thought they stretched that dog, but later on realized he was a dash hound. Boy, I thought, boy, he was in trouble. Them dogs had him. Yeah, when they turned him loose, he was getting it. But at any rate, real dog loved playing with it. So this morning, this little thing started whimpering, crying. I'm like, okay, she won't go to the restroom. I'm like, I ain't ready to get up yet. I'm going to get up in a few minutes. She's just going to hold it a little while longer. Boy, was I wrong. You ain't coming? I ain't holding it no longer. I done warned you. And you didn't respond properly. And so, when I finally decided to get up, after my alarm clock went off several times, I finally got up. And I walked out there to let the little dog out, and she had messed up the towel floor. Thank God it's towel in my carpet. She messed up the towel, and I took the paper towel, put it down there, and walked her to the door and let her out. And then I realized something. Under circumstances, I was spanked her, messed up my floor, and I said, that what grace looked like. I let her make it. Y'all hear me? And that wasn't enough. Normally when I let her out, she goes out. If she go out, she look at you. But this time she went out the door, got out on the patio, and looked back at me like, "What you want me to do?" I like it. You better get out there and do something. So she went out there and went to the bush and went through the motions and came on back in. And normally she come in, she runs straight to her dish, ready to eat. And when she ran in there, I was like, I ain't ready to feed you yet. I mean, you just messed up my flow. So I went to I'm not telling you too much of my story. I went to my office and sat at my desk. And a little bit later, a little white thing come run across the floor. And I looked at it, I'm thinking, she want to eat. But she just messed up my flow. So I walked out of my office, went down to the washroom, got some food, put it in up the dish, and she looked at me and I walked out and went back to my office. And I sit down at the desk and say, that's what grace looks like. It's amazing God will give you something to talk about, but he'll never leave you clueless. He'll always give you an example of what he's doing in your life. And sometimes we miss these clues that God gives us. The chances God gives us, sometimes we miss them. But he's so gracious enough to try it again. Well, I almost shouted on that one. I almost shouted because I think about how many times I done goofed up and how many times he forgave me and let his grace prevail in my life. And you know what? When you can see the grace of God and know it was God's grace, baby, you ought to be able to shout and say, you know what? I know it was nothing but God's grace. What is grace anyway? The word grace means that it's unmerited favor. It means it's nothing I did to deserve it, nothing I did to own it. I didn't do anything at all to acquire it. Just the fact he just wanted me to have it. Have anybody ever given you something you know you didn't deserve, but they just wanted you to have? That's grace. And God always gives us grace, even when we know. If you just be honest with yourself, you ain't good enough. I look in the mirror too. I ain't cute enough. I didn't say handsome. All right, here we go. When you realize that God just blessed you just because He want to bless you, you ought to stop and say thank you. And right here, He blessed you for grace's sake. Because mercy was standing there. And mercy said, grace kick in. Yeah, and even though He's giving mercy and compassion, baby, but it's the grace of God that blesses you. The grace shows up in faith. Anybody ever know that it's because of the favor of God? I got this car, got this job, got this house, got this wife, got this husband, got these children. It's just the favor of God in my life. And because I've got these digits on my bank account. It's the favor of God. And I came by to tell somebody, and sometimes we don't realize if grace didn't kick in, favor would be at home. All right. Favor only showed up because grace was present first. And anyway, I don't leave y'all long. I ain't gonna preach it long. I got another service I got to go to. I don't want y'all to feel like you missed out on anything, but that was my whole message. All right, but let me look at the text though, because I can tell you this, but if I don't deal with the text, then you're gonna miss the whole purpose. The text says this. Paul was telling his audience that don't misunderstand that it's all of us are operating because of the grace of God. We would not be saved and would not have a relationship with God if it wasn't for His grace. If God didn't grace us with Jesus present, we wouldn't know Him. Anybody ever said, I'm so glad you graced me with your presence? That's how we ought to feel with God. Don't you know, Jesus, if it wasn't for the grace of God, we are not holy enough to even entertain Christ. We don't have enough holiness to have Him in our lives. You hear me? So when He shows up, it's because it's His grace that He's able to cover you and protect you and keep you from His destruction. It's His grace. And so Paul here is saying, I want to tell y'all that Paul was telling these people that, listen, don't forget who you are. And he said, let me tell you what I have to do. That was a guy by the name of Peter, one of the apostles. He said, I had to call Peter out in public. And I'm telling you this, have anybody ever told you, don't judge me? Or have you ever told somebody to say that? Now you won't judge me. You can't judge me. Have anybody ever said that, heard that? Don't raise your hand, just listen to me. Paul called Peter out. And if Peter and Paul was in this century, Peter would have been telling Paul, see, there you go trying to judge me. Yeah. But in reality, Peter wasn't being judged, but he was being called out. I think I got an amen showing back there. And so when Paul says to Peter, what you're doing is not right. You're not doing right. You're not walking right. You're not living right. And don't you know flesh will kick in and say, how you going to tell me how I ought to be living? Well, guess what? I can tell you how you ought to live. Do I tell you you're wrong for living like that? Or am I making a judgment upon you? No, but I will call you out. Let me tell you why. Because I love you enough to tell you the truth. Now, if you don't love me enough to tell me the truth, let me live any kind of life. Don't say nothing to me. Just let me do me and let me die without the grace of God in my life. And, and you could have helped me, but you decided, I don't want to hear the conversation about me judging you, so I ain't saying nothing. Let me help you here. The next time you see somebody walking contrary to the word of God, and God deal with you to say something, open your mouth and say something. And when they say you judging me, say, no, I'm just telling you. Come on here. I'm not judging you. Let me tell you. When you go into a courtroom, people can make all kinds of statements. They ain't judging you. They can make all kinds of accusations. That's not judging you. You know why? Because they don't have the authority or the power to judge you. So man can't really judge you on that level, but they can't call. See, I did see when you come to courtroom and they're calling in for witnesses to say, what did you see? So when you call somebody out, you just saying what you see. Am I making sense here? Let me look at the text. Look at the text. Look at the text. Look at that. The 14th verse says this. He said, but when I saw that they walked not uprightly, when I saw them not walking uprightly, when I saw them not doing the right thing, when I saw them not doing the God thing,
by Jesus and the donkey.
When, not when God spoke to me, but when I saw it,
Good story about Jesus.
and they wasn't walking upright. According, how you know they wasn't walking upright? How you gonna judge me? How you know I wasn't walking upright? He said they wasn't walking according to the truth of the gospel. So when you filtering what you're looking at through God's word, you ought to be able to make a call on that one. Now, can I judge you? No, but I can tell you what I say. Now, and what I say to you, if I'm on the right side and you end up in judgment, my witness gonna come up again. What I say to you will come up again in eternity. When Christ called for witnesses, and everything you've done in your body gonna come up. When they open the books and these books are open, all this stuff gonna be that had been recorded and it's gonna be played back on your day of judgment. Am I doing all right? This is not a gloom and doom message. Hope y'all don't feel like that. But I want to tell you that we have to walk right. Come on in. And guess why you're walking right? For grace's sake. Because somebody's watching you. Somebody is looking for an example in the earth on how they ought to walk, how they ought to talk, how they ought to conduct themselves. And the closest thing to God they're going to get is you, because you claim you're a Christian. And let me tell you, boy, I got these analogies here. The Christians today in this hour are like this. There are some Christians, have you ever seen these cars riding around at night with no lights on? And you see these news reports say, don't flash your lights on, tell them to turn the light on, because the gang members might be initiation, and they come by and start shooting you up. Right? But have you ever seen somebody driving down the street with their lights on in the middle of the night? And if you're not paying attention, it was startle you, because you're like, they could have hit me or I could have hit them. I didn't even see that car coming. That's some Christian. You don't even see them coming. They supposed to be a Christian, their light ought to be on, but you don't have no light shine. Y'all still with me here? And then there are other Christians like this. Well, you know what? I don't want to be totally in darkness. I want people to know that I love Jesus. I'm just put my park lights on. I'm not being overbearing. I'm just existing. Y'all still here? And so Paul says, Peter, when you were hanging out with the Gentiles, you know, either you didn't have your lights on or you had park lights on. And you did whatever they were doing. You fit really in real good. But I got a problem with you. I'll show you what the problem is in a second. Then now, there are two other Christians. That was two and two. I got four of them, right? Here we go. The next Christian is like this. He's driving around with his low beams on. Yeah. He done found his balance, and everybody can recognize the low beam in the street. So, and low beams are on during the daylight. Some cars shine in the daylight. At night, it's on at night. And you see that car coming, and some lights, you can recognize the car by the light. Here we go. And then they got that Christian who always on bright lights. It's so bright it kills you. It blinds you. Have you ever been and come down the street and you driving with your low beams on and somebody turn the corner and they got their brights on? And it's, gosh, man, do you not know that's too bright? Turn them lights off. And you flash your light like, get them bright lights off of me, because it's hard to see with them lights so bright. So you know, some people dim your ability to see Christ looking at them. They so heavenly high till they know earthly good. I'm just saying. Hashtag, of course, okay. Right here. Right here. Right here. So you got the Christian with no lights, park lights, low lights, and and extremely bright lights.
And the man and only.
Which Christian are you?
Well, then you need to know about your.
Paul said, Peter,
So is that a bad
when you were with the Gentiles, I couldn't tell who you were. Now we're around the brother. We're around scripture packing people. We're around believers. And man, you got it on bright. I mean, you blasted in here. And the Gentiles who are following you are confused because you've been kicking it with them, and now you want to be real bright now.
The disciples were the friends of Jesus.
Yes, y'all with me? And so Paul says, don't frustrate the grace of God. And you think about the people who are watching you, and for grace's sake, you got to strike a balance. I wish everybody in here under the sound of my voice, and the folks on the internet, and wherever else you get this message, get this. If you don't get nothing else, get you some balance in God, get you a low beam, and keep rolling. Because guess what? Even with the low beam, you hit some bumps in the road, but you keep on shining. I just ask somebody. Baby, look at here. And sometimes the road might not be straight, but just keep on rolling. Come on here. But if your lights are off, that bump might cause you to have a wreck. Or anyway. Yeah. You keep on riding around them low beams and no beams. Ride around with park lights and dark lights. And when you hit a hole in the road, a snag in your travel, then you're going to be crying. So send me a record and send me an ambulance. That was a 911 call. Well, dummy, if you kept your lights on, you would have seen that. Excuse me. Intelligent person, you know, keep your lights on and you won't have those holes and you won't run into them. Not because they're not in the road, it's because you'll see them. Because your lights on. You think the light's all about you. It's not about you. It's about people who are watching you. Because if they watch you and see you coming, they know how to conduct themselves. But if they don't see you coming because you're in a down low situation, you got either no lights or dim lights or you got park lights. When they can't see who you are, they're confused because what we just kicked it last night. Now I'm trying to offer you a drink and you won't take it today because your pastor here.
Some people spread their
Y'all got real quiet. I mean, when we went out yesterday, Friday or Thursday, we were drinking them up and we'd have our little drinks and whatever else. And now pastor with us and you ain't touching it.
They shot
And you used to well, you know, just respect things. I don't want pastor to know I drink like that. I mean, you know, and Paul said, Peter, your inconsistency is tripping up somebody. If you're going to be a Christian 24/7. Don't decide today I'll be a Christian. I'll be a Christian on certain days. Be a Christian every day. And then you ain't got to worry about somebody wondering about who you are, if you're saved or not. You know, we were talking earlier, when folks use profanity like it's their second language or their first language, and they want to talk about the cross later on, you say, something wrong with that preacher. You with me? I mean, come on. Even when you're not where you're supposed to be, when you see that, you think, you know what's something wrong about that. Am I telling the truth? Now, did you just judge that person when you thought that? Or you just noticed something that was out of place? And if you say something about it, they might be offended and call you judgmental. But the truth of the matter, you weren't judging them. You just pointed out a fact. What's wrong with our society when you can't point out a fact? Without somebody's feelings be hurt? I mean, it's going to hurt. But guess what? If it hurts you, it might help you. But deliverance might come through your pain. But some of us don't want to be discomforted. So leave me alone. Don't say nothing to me. Have I taken too much of y'all time? Y'all sure you all right? All right. So when let me finish my scripture. So he says, when I saw them and they wasn't walking upright, and my measurement was by the truth of the gospel, he said, I said unto Peter before everybody, before them all, if thou being a Jew, if you are a Jew, because you are a Jew, he says, and you liveth after the manner of the Gentiles, You are a Jew, but you've been following and doing the things that Gentile people do. You know, Jews didn't eat pork bones. And you've been hanging out with them Gentiles eating pork bones. And, yeah. See what I'm saying? And so you eat crawfish and stuff. You know, we don't eat all that stuff over here.
Is the Son of God.
And you eating it. Tell my man went to a crawfish bowl. Yeah. Yeah, you went to a crawfish bowl? You did? You know, we don't eat that kind of stuff. And then when you get around with your brothers and your people in Christ, you want to act like folks that eat crawfish and eat pork bones and all them other things, such as things. You should say that's uncivilized, unspiritual. They don't really know God. But what would you do when you were hanging out with them? Huh? The same way you tripping on them now, you ought to look in the mirror and say, you know what, it was just the grace of God. Because God had mercy on us when we didn't know any better. And some of us, when we knew better, but yet we still did what we know we should not have been doing. Am I telling the truth in here to anybody? Listen here. Somebody told me the other day, say, what the millennials want to hear is the truth. They don't want to be entertained. Tell them the truth. I was talking to the youngsters who was 30 and under 30, like in their 20s or something like that. Said, we don't want them to entertain us. One guy said, I'm a military person. I done went over and fought wars and stuff. And get later, they still want to treat me like a kid. I said, man, just tell me the truth.
Okay, Jesus.
Are y'all still in here?
Is the Son of God.
I'm like, wow, that's serious. I didn't think about it. But then when I thought about it, I thought, I was in the military too. I came back here, a military person, and still was treated like a 20-year-old. Because I was 20. But I had matured. I had been exposed to stuff. Y'all with me? And we still want to view people based on what their age is, but not their things they've been involved with. Experience. Because sometimes your life experience will cause you to be more mature than your age you ever catch up to. Let me say that again. Your number might say one thing, but you far succeed that number because of your life experiences. Am I making sense here? And so when Paul calls Peter in on the carpet, he says to him, say, boy, you need to understand something. You're a Jew, but you've been living like the Gentiles, and now you want to come over here and tell the Gentiles how wrong they are. Now, what it was, Peter started now come to Jerusalem and started hanging out with people who believe in circumcision. Man, these folk ain't been circumcised. Peter, I know good and well, brother, I'm going to hang out with y'all. I can't deal with them uncircumcised people there. They don't believe like us. Well, you didn't say that when you were hanging out with them last week? In the summer. Today, I'm a super Christian. But last week, I had my lights off. Yeah. Last week, I had my little vehicle. It was either driving with no lights, driving in park, driving with low beams, and now I want to put on bright lights and say, here I am. No, baby. Strike you a balance, get you some low beams, and keep rolling. Because at the end of the day, it's what grace looks like. And for grace's sake, find you some balance and walk in the balance of God. Have I made sense to anybody though? Let me get through here. He said, because my thing was, how in the world can you do it? And how can you do it? Since the grace of God is so essential to my life. How do you live this grace of God? How do you walk in grace of God? What does it look like? Well, let me finish it. He said, you've been following at the manner of the 14th verse here. I'm in the second Galatians 14th chapter, 14th verse. He said, and you've been following and living like the Gentiles, but now you want to flip the script and you want to try to compel them to live like Jews. But you've been living any kind of old jacked up life, and now you want to tell everybody, y'all all just need to be saved. Have anybody ever told somebody, you just need Jesus? It's sad. You doing the same thing they do. Monday through Saturday, you hanging out with the best of them. Then on Sunday morning, you put your bright lights on. Bam! Sunday morning, come. Bam! I know I'm not talking about y'all. But I am on the internet, and they are seeing this, viewing this by way of internet. And so some of you need to get this. Paul said, Peter, you've been driving around with no lights on all this time, and all of a sudden you want to put these bright lights on. You're killing us, Peter. Because you're not consistent with who you say you are. If you're a Christian, you'll be a Christian not some days. Huh? I'm a Christian on Bible study and Sunday morning. Bible talk if I feel like it.
If I could get a chance.
Now every other time, I'm just doing me. Really? And when people watching you, what should they walk away with? How should they walk away once they've been in your presence, been in your company? How should they walk away? Well, really, they ain't worried about what I'm doing. They ought to worry about them. No. The Bible says, you are the light of the world. You are the salt of the earth. You are the influence in this generation. And you can't say they're not worried about you. No, you ought to be worried about them. Because it is your responsibility to be an influence towards God in their life. As a Christian, it is your responsibility to impact their life for God. Now let me say it again. As a Christian, you ought to impact their life for God. You ought not be too low, or you ought not be too bright. You ought to find your middle ground and operate right there. Now I told him earlier that when you put your low beams on, sometimes the road's going to be rough, sometimes it's going to wind, sometimes it's going to have dips in the road, but you're able to see where you're going. If you ride around with no lights on, you might run into some of them holes. You with me? So you got to keep your light on. Keep it shining. Don't make it too bright though, because some of them can't stand them too bright lights. Only time I want my light real bright is when I'm going through some real deep situation and I need God to really show up right now for real. Yeah, and then when that bright light, see, look, when you use your bright light, there's nobody in front of you.
Come on now. Help me, Jesus.
Yeah, boy, there, bam!
Yeah.
I want to see everything. And if somebody get in my headlight, I dim them down.
Come on now.
Because I ain't trying to blind nobody with my super spiritual self. You find folk going around with brights on all the time. They try to impress you how spiritual they are, and they ain't got nothing. Oh, excuse me. Don't have anything. And I'm not being critical, because I'm saying in heartbeat, praise the Lord. And there are some folks who fleshly will say, all these Christians, I always have to praise the Lord. So you got an issue, because the Bible says let everything they have praise the Lord. Some scripture, baby. And if I answer my phone, praise the Lord. You know what I'm doing? I'm giving you a commandment to give God some praise. Come on here. I'm not answering the phone to tell you, I'm loving God, I'm spiritual today. Because somebody asked me, how you doing? I say, I'm doing extremely well. And somebody say, I'm blessed. Well, you know what? I got it. I ain't going to judge you. I ain't going to criticize. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be doing extremely well if I wasn't blessed. Because I got the grace of God in my life. And the grace of God showed up and favor came with it. I wish I had one or two persons right here. Boy, favor didn't stay home because grace came and made a way. I wish I had somebody. And you want the favor of God? Say, Lord, thank you for your grace. And I walk in the grace of God. I walk in the mercies of God. I walk by his forgiveness and his presence and his power. And while I'm walking, favor shows up. It is about where you're walking to in order to walk into his presence and his favor. Am I doing all right? I act like I ain't got another service to go to. Well, I don't have to make the other service.
Come on now.
Because I can get raptured out of here now. Because, Scotty, I'm ready.
So y'all learn something.
Hello, I made my preparations to go. No big deal to me. He said, come on back. I said, what? Let's do it. I feel like Jesse the Planners when I see him. And he said, come on. I said, let's do it, Jesus. Let's do it, Jesus. Bless God. All right, here we go. The 20th verse. So Paul said, I am crucified. Where? I am crucified with Christ. When Christ went to the cross of Calvary and they nailed him to the cross, he said, man, I was right there with him. I have put myself in him and he is in me. And so everything he's done, he did it with me in mind and with me in present, in his body, in his spirit, and right there. And so in his suffering, I was right there with him. You hear me? And guess what? He took the death and he took the pain, the stain out of death. So now when I feel the things I'm going through, I ain't got to really feel it. Baby, you ain't got to really feel death. You know why? Because Christ took the stain out of it. He did. Look what he said. He said, I am crucified with Christ. Then he said, nevertheless, I live. He said, I died in Christ, but don't misunderstand it. I ain't saying that I'm dead in the natural. I'm alive. But my spirit, my fleshly desires and wants have been nailed to the cross of Calvary. Y'all still with me? And he said, and because it's nailed there, don't misunderstand me, I live, but no longer me, I'm living through him. So for grace's sake, I no longer live the way I want to live. I want to live through him. Now, I have to always inject this because when you started talking about living through Christ, people get the misconception that you said you're perfect. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm saying I've learned how to depend on him. We sang the song, but do you really trust him? Huh? And so when I said that when Paul said, I no longer live, it's not me that's living, I'm literally living through him. If you're not spiritual, you won't see it. Was it last week I was talking about people trying to filter things with natural eyes? You can't filter the things of God with your natural eyes. You got to take on spiritual vision. And so you can see what God is doing. And so he said, I was crucified with Christ. Nevertheless, I live, yet not I. Now, somebody, like I said earlier, that it might be confusing to some. And like, man, I'm totally confused by what he just said. But he says, it's no longer me that's doing this. Y'all looking at me, talking about hallelujah, loving God, talking about how great God is. You looking at me, talking about, boy, you really doing an excellent job of representing God. No, you don't understand. It's him doing the work through me. Because if it was me, you wouldn't like what you see. So that's what he's saying. He said, y'all looking at me. Y'all, come on, think about it. Think about it. When you think about your pastor or somebody in leadership, spiritual leadership, you think, man, I wish I could get my life at least where they are. Oh, man, they really got it going on. I really want my life. Man, you don't know what we got.
You gotta stay with me. Come on now,
Am I telling the truth yet? You don't know my lifestyle. You don't know my conversation when I'm not around you. Only thing you know is the God you see. So what Paul literally was saying, he said, what you see is not me. You see the God in me. And so what I'm trying to tell you all, that your lifestyle ought to shift to that you now finding your low beam and you're riding constantly on the low beam. Am I still doing that right here? And so as you're traveling, folks see the low beam. See, I see the car coming. I see him coming. And for y'all's sake, I see the bike is coming.
That's right. It looks like a horse.
Sometimes you see the light before you hear the noise. Oh, that was good. Yeah. Sometimes they see your light before they hear your conversation.
So,
I've been watching you. I ain't said nothing to you, but I've been watching you. Have anybody ever told you, I've been watching you? There's something different about you. I've been watching you. There's something about you. And because they saw your light before they heard your noise. They tell me, ain't that noise to the bike so they won't get ran over. Really? I said, boy, y'all gonna be deaf right here. But I really don't bother us. We hear y'all coming. Yeah. He says, not me, it's the Christ in me. That was a song too, wasn't it? The Jesus in me. Here he said, look. He said that, but Christ lives in me, and the life, don't miss this. The life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith of the Son of God. He said, in the flesh, I'm living a godly lifestyle, but I'm living by faith through Christ. Because there was a time when I was living the life and I thought I was doing the right thing, but I wasn't living according to Christ. He said, because that's why he said, the life I'm living now. Because let me help you here with the now. It ain't what you did yesterday, it's what you're doing now. Huh? Because a whole lot of people remember your yesterday and they won't even know about your now. And the only thing they gonna see is the light you show and the noise you make when they get close to you. So what are you saying when they get close to you? Are you still talking Jesus when they get close? You get folk close to you and you're talking Jesus? Or you trying to manipulate the situation so you can pepper your flesh? Let me say it. I don't know how else to say that. Sometimes people are drawn to us. And when they get close to us, we have the obligation to Christ to give them the light of the world. But they come close to us, and if we don't be careful, we won't give them Jesus. Give them us. Now some of us might think, well, I don't do that no more. I done passed that. But not everybody. There's some of us are still wrestling with who God wants you to be and how you ought to represent Him all the time. Am I still doing all right? I mean, I don't want to bore y'all with my preaching. All right, I don't want to bore you with my preaching. Look what he said. He said, I'm living through the Son of God, and I'm doing it in faith. Look what he said, y'all. Look what the grace of God looked like. Who loved me. The Son of God loved me. I'm living through Him because He loved me. And you ought to put your name there. I'm living through Him. I'm caring and I'm living through Him because He loved me. Y'all with me? When next time somebody look at you and say, oh, you really got it going on. No, I'm living through Him because He loved me. Why are you living for God? Because He loved me.
That's right.
Some of when we came to God out of fear because I didn't want to go to hell. But after you start walking with Him, it ain't even about the hell no more because a whole lot of folks doing stuff and they know about hell, they're still doing stuff, they're going to take them to hell. So it ain't about hell no more. It's about I love Him now. I used to say I loved Him, but now I'm in love with Him.
Hallelujah. Glory.
And so he said this. He loved who loved me, and not only did He love me, He proved His love for me when He gave Himself for me. And then he says this. Boy, I wish I could preach this right here. He said, I do not frustrate the grace of God. Can I ask y'all some of the things we do on a day-to-day basis? Does it frustrate the grace of God? Let me show you what that looks like. Parents, have you ever told your kid if you do that one more time? You got one more time to do that. Have we ever grown up and your parents told you, you got one more time to do that?
If you borrow a color from someone, make sure
this is the last time I'm going to talk to you about this. Really? You know what happened? You just frustrated your parents with your nonsense. Your kids just frustrated you with this foolishness. And so what Paul's saying, I will not frustrate the God in my life or the grace of God who's protecting my life with nonsense. I know I got to get through. So this was it. So for it, he said, I will not frustrate the grace of God, for if righteousness, here we go, if righteousness come by the law or come by my works, then Christ is dead in vain. He said, what God has done for me, if I don't live according to His word, according to what I decree and declare in my life, he said, everything Christ has done is void. Has no meaning to it at all. I hope you got something out of what I said. Because it's important. Because it is important that everything we do because of grace.
Yes.
I'm saved because of grace. I'm delivered because of grace.
Yeah.
His mercy operated in my life because of grace. And when I witness and talk to other people, it's because the grace of God want to be extended to somebody else's life. And baby, if you're not giving them Jesus, what are you giving them? What are you giving them? If you're not giving them Jesus, what are you giving them? And if we have a responsibility to earth, if you're not giving them Jesus, what are you giving them? Let's pray. Stand on your feet. Let's pray. Lord have mercy.
Y'all hear Pastor teaching?
Yeah.
Anything y'all would learn?
I give you all of me. Hallelujah. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Withholding nothing. See? Yeah. Let's pray. Let's pray. Every head bowed, every eye closed. Father, in Jesus' name, we thank you for giving us this opportunity, God, to come together in this house of prayer.
Yes,
Father, I
God.
pray for every person on the sound of my voice
Yes, God.
here presently or by way of internet. I pray for them that God, you begin to deal with them and bless them and cause them to rise up to the occasion. That they don't ride around in life with no lights, park lights,
Jesus.
or extremely bright lights.
Yes, God. Yes, God.
God, let them go through life on the low beam, trusting you and believing you and being consistent with their walk.
Yes, Lord.
God, even in bumpy situations, the light still remains the same.